In order for the real estate industry and us as agents to continue to grow our businesses, certain things have to change. Today I'm going to share with you 7 sacred cows that should be killed. So in case you're wondering what a sacred cow is, basically a sacred cow is something that's put on a pedestal, really unreasonably so. It's something that's maybe a tradition that's always been done a certain way, that in reality is probably past its time, or it needs to be changed in order to see something move forward. So what I want to do today is I want to talk about our industry as a whole. I want to talk about your individual business and kind of a holistic view of what that looks like and how you can take some of these things that are just accepted or things that are in the industry that we can flip around and we can make sure that we use them to your advantage. The first sacred cow that should be killed is the low barrier to entry into this business. Now let me say this, at the end of this I'm going to tell you exactly how you can offset this with your professionalism in a way that sets you apart. But in reality, let's be real. We had someone tell me one time that it's harder to get a license in the state of Florida where I live to cut hair than it is to get a license to be able to sell real estate, to handle some of the biggest investments that people have in their lives. Now let's think about that. The problem is when everybody has access, the level of professionalism goes down. The view of realtors or the real estate profession goes down because there are a lot of people that are in the business that they may have their license, but they're not in the business, I guess you could say. They have a license, but they're not practicing the business. They are just basically someone that is a placeholder, and then in reality is setting us up for failure because everybody just assumes that everyone's that way. Now let me tell you how to set this apart for yourself so that you can really stand out is be the most professional agent in your area. Be the resource. Provide the most information on what's going on in the market. Provide insights that maybe you're not hearing from other people. The way you find that is that readers become leaders. Go out and focus in on the people that you see in other markets or industry leaders, something like a Keeping Current Matters that gives you the statistics and the resources for you to be able to go out and to voice a professional opinion in a way that sets you apart from everyone else. Second sacred cow that must be killed is self-focused marketing. You know, when I first started, there were a lot of marketing that was like, look at me, #1 in the marketplace. You know, most homes sold. It was all about focusing in on the agent and elevating the agent. That is tired. It is past its time. It's now time to focus in on making that client their needs, making sure that you're giving opportunity for people to learn from what it is that you're posting. The old saying is that people could care less, or they really don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. What is it that you're doing to set yourself apart in your marketing so that you make sure that that client and their needs is the hero? I would start with a couple things like this. Think about what it is that buyers want most. Buyers want to know about financing. They want to know about what's going on in the market. They want to know about what are some lending options that they have. They want to know what their cost is going to be. They want to know what it looks like as far as a time frame, what the process is. You see, by providing those things to those buyers, you're setting yourself apart. You're not looking at, they're not going to be just looking at you. They're going to be looking at the information and viewing you as the professional and the resource they need. Sellers want to know what's going on in the market. They want to know their current value of their home. They want to know trends. They want to know options for tapping into all the equity that we have in the marketplace right now. By providing that information and being the professional, you're setting this and you're actually just flipping the script really on the fact that most realtors are viewed as unprofessional. This is your opportunity to really stand out, especially now as this economic environment we're in begins to dim a little bit or there are less transactions. Your light can shine brighter. The third activity that must be killed is non-professional photographs being taken for listings. Let's be real. We're in a time where literally this is what people are doing. They're scrolling through and it's photography, it's a video that actually makes them stop. We want to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward, not only to present the property in the best possible way to help it get sold, but those photos are a reflection of you. If they're unprofessional, you're viewed as unprofessional. Also videos. What is it that you're doing? Listen, I want to tell you, there is some authenticity in some videos that should be shot on your phone. But if you're marketing a property, there does come a point where you need to put your best foot forward in the presentation of that property in the best possible way so that it helps people understand the property and it gets them excited about coming and taking a look at this property. The other thing that professional videography does is it gives you the ability to set yourself apart as a marketing pro. Would you rather have someone that actually invests their time, their money, their effort into professional marketing, or someone that just kind of does it on the fly? I'm not saying there isn't a place for both, but I am saying at some point you have to step up your game when it comes to photography and also to videography. Next, we have to move away from the PPP marketing program that has been the case for our industry for a long time. Now, I'm not talking about paycheck protection program that we saw through the pandemic. What I'm talking about is the old way of doing business as far as marketing listings, of putting a sign in the yard, placing it in MLS, and praying that somebody comes along and wants to buy it. Those days are over. We are now in a market environment where we have more competition, more listings. We have less of those transactions that are happening. So now it's important for you to have a marketing plan that absolutely maximizes the opportunity for that homeowner to sell their house in the fastest amount of time with the least amount of hassles at the highest price. That comes through professional marketing. Make sure you're doing the things. You're setting yourself up in a way that you have a plan of action. I always called it my listing launch formula, where I talked about the 33 steps that I would take from the time that we took the listing until we got it on the market and actually got the marketing out. What is it that you do to set yourself apart from a marketing perspective? The agent that has a plan of action for marketing homes and that is able to communicate that to homeowners is absolutely going to be the agent that takes more listings. The next sacred cow that must be killed is ABC communication when it comes to talking with prospective clients. You know, when I was coming up, there was an old saying, it was called ABC, always be closing, always be closing, always be asking questions leading to an opportunity for you to say, do you want to list your house? Do you want to buy this house? It was always focused on getting to a result. In reality, where we are today is that we are more in a market environment where relationships are way more important than the transactions. Now, if you have relationships, that is the precursor to transactions, but it's also not, when we were looking at the ABC, the always be closing, that led to one transaction. Relationship building and absolutely putting the client first leads to multiple transactions in the form of multiple transactions with that person, referrals that they send, opportunities for future business. If you're going to build a business, you're going to have to move away from that always be closing mentality and start building those relationships. If you focus on the relationships, I promise you're going to see your business grow in a way you can't even imagine. Next thing that must be changed is the single agent mentality. Now listen, I'm not saying that you can't be a single agent and succeed, but you have to understand that even the Lone Ranger had Tonto. You have to have some other people around you. Now, whether you build out a formal team or your team is built up of a trusted mortgage advisor that you send all of your clients to, or maybe it is someone that is an inspector that you really trust that they're going to give your clients, your buyers, the opportunity to really see a full view of what's going on in that transaction. Maybe it's a title company. Maybe it's someone that is actually a home warranty person, or it's a handyman, whatever it is. Build a team of people around you. If you're going to succeed, if you're going to service your clients in the way that they deserve, you're absolutely not going to be able to do this on your own. Number 7, as an industry and as individuals, we have to move away from the shiny object infatuation, always looking for the easy button, I guess you could say. You see, this business is built off of doing the work. There is not some place that you can just go and simply push a button and all the leads are going to come to you and they're going to close themselves. Even if you do and you find different ways to generate those leads, you have to have the conversations. You have to add the value. You have to differentiate yourself from your competition. So what is it that we can do to absolutely build a business that grows consistently over time? Because listen, anything that is worth having takes time. So what are you doing on a daily basis to lead in that direction? I would encourage you, make sure that you've got a list of activities that you're going to do on a daily basis that are absolutely going to generate income. Having conversation, building relationships, following up with people, holding open houses, adding value to a geographical farm. The basics of this business is where the money is at. Stay focused on the basics. Don't get infatuated with trying to chase something that may or may not work, and just do the work. One of the best things about our business is that it's not hard to set yourself apart. If you'll do the work, if you'll add the value, if you'll go against the grain, so to speak, I promise success is right around the corner. I hope this has been helpful, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. I specifically chose the video below for you because it builds on the one you just watched. I hope it's helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.